Dunya, this world is a ready land, and the pious and the impious, they both eat from it. And verily, Akhirat is a promised abode. It's a promised time that has to come. And a very mighty and a just ruler will rule on that day. And verily, Jannat has all the khair with all of its details in it. And verily, Jahannam has all the shar with all of the details of shar in it. So beware of making amal, beware of making action. Watch out for your actions. And know that all of your actions will be presented in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one who has done the tiniest bit of good deeds, he will be rewarded for it. He will see it. And the one who has made the tiniest bit of evil deeds, he will also see it. And know that your amal will be presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my respected brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mashallah, we've been hearing talks since 2 days continuously, 1.5 days. And all of these talks have given us some very, very important messages and some very basic messages about our life. These talks are trying to tell us, were trying to tell us that, oh people, another hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that there are two blessings, two bounties, which people do not, they are indeed very valuable, but people don't value them, and people are careless or heedless about them. One of them is free time, and one of them is energy, the health that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. So our health and time, these are indeed very valuable, but people are heedless and careless about them. So all of these talks, my respected brothers, they are all trying to tell us where we should put these two very, very valuable, bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are all spending every day. From the moment a person wakes up in the morning, all through his day, it is like this person is continuously exchanging these two commodities that Allah has given him in exchange for different things. Person wakes up in the morning, he does some things. Let's say a person, he goes he wakes up and he prays tahajjud. MashaAllah, he just used his health and his time to benefit from the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was down on the first sky, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was asking, is there anyone who is there so I can forgive him? Is there anyone who has a need that I can fulfill? Somebody is asking something, I can grant him. And this person used that opportunity. He did not let go of that opportunity. So this was a good use. And then this person, he prayed, 2 rakat of sunnah, and he went to the masjid. MashaAllah, every step he was taking, this step was removing his evil deeds, and it was bringing him good deeds. And he reaches the masjid, he just enters the masjid and he reads the dua, Allahumma aftah li abwaba rahmatik. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his rahmah. And then he prays Fajr Salat with Jama'at, and he is in the responsibility of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the whole day. So similarly, my respect is all day a person, he is doing something, then he goes to his workplace, and in his workplace, he's working. He's apparently, making some money, making some dunya. And over there also, Allah has given him this opportunity to make his akhirat by being honest in his workplace, by being trustworthy, by fulfilling his duties properly, by showing good conduct, so many things. So all day this person is investing and he's receiving something. He's giving and he's receiving something. Now my respected brothers, the successful ones at the end of this race will be those people who have devoted more of these two commodities that Allah have given them towards things that have a lot of mileage, as we say in the car world, right? Those things that have a lot more mileage, and they invested these things to get those things, these are the people who will be happiest and they will be the most successful. So those people who spend towards getting those things that were, that will go with them in the akhirah. Everything has some mileage, right? I went to the store and I spent 1 hour in the store and I bought something. And this something, it will benefit me for how long? Let's say for a year maybe, for a year and a half, right? I went out and I bought a phone. So I spent 2.5 hours, 3 hours shopping around, browsing around, and then I bought a phone. This will stay with me for maybe 2 years, 3 years. But at the same time, if we get back to that example of Fajr, everything that we are doing for deen, those are the moments of our life that have the most payback. Those are the moments that have the most return on our investments. Because whatever we're getting out of those moments, that is really what will stay with us. Because when we spend that time, then the reward of that is stored in the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whatever is with Allah, this is there to stay, and whatever is in this dunya, this is there to perish. مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. So the people who are continuously spending and they're devoting their energies towards things that are stored in the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards the amal of akhirat and towards the amal of deen, you see, these are the people who will really turn out to be the wise ones at the end. That's why, as we heard yesterday also, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the wise person is the one who takes account of himself. Al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. He continuously takes account of himself and he makes amal for his akhirat. And the foolish person is the one he makes amal on his own desires. And he says that, and he has big hopes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive and Allah will let it go, and so forth. So we have to, my respected brothers, change this, our devotion of our health and our time. The wise ones are those who will invest more and more of their time towards their purpose of life, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent them with in this world. Because the more you give your time and energy towards your purpose, the more successful we will eventually be. Because the results of all of those efforts, they will all continue with us. They will help us. For example, simple thing, a person has a glass of water. You can drink a glass of water with any way you want. And you drank the glass of water and it probably fulfilled your thirst, no matter how you drank it. But at the same time, if I held this glass of water with my right hand, I drank it in 3 sips, I said Bismillah, I sat down, I said Alhamdulillah at the end, and I did all of these sunnahs, just the same drinking this glass of water, what happened? Its mileage increased a lot. Its impact increased a lot because I fulfilled so many sunnahs in it. Because I fulfilled so many sunnats in it. For every sunnat, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says in the hadith, the meaning of which is that a person who makes alive one sunnah during a time of fitna and fasad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him an ajr of a shaheed. So just this little action, I was able to gain so much. So my respect for this deen, on the other hand, I would have drank the same water and I could have not gotten this reward, right? I step out of my house every day. Now, if I step out of my house, I go to work every day, maybe 5 times on average, a person steps out of his house. So now a person is stepping out in the manner of sunnah. It is the same stepping out, but you're stepping out with your left foot, you're reading dua, Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that a person, if he reads this dua, an angel will announce that you have been protected, you have been guided, shaitan has been distanced from you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient for you. Imagine, my respect brothers, it was the same amal, but what happened? You just got so much, you see, you just got so much more out of your health and your time. And what was it about? Was it about making a lot of sacrifice? Was it about training for hours so that you could get out of your house with your head down and your legs up? No. It was the same simple getting out. But what did deen coming into your life do? It just made you get a lot more value out of your health and out of your time. And this is just the value that you got in dunya. But the real value is what you will get in akhirat. Because akhirat is the real place which can hold the ajr of our amal. Trying to fit the ajr of amal in this dunya is just like a person goes by the beach and he digs a little hole and he tries to put the sea in that hole. Is it going to fit in? It's never going to fit in. So the real life, my respect brothers, is the life of akhirat, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned that Allah in his dua, Allahumma la aisha illa aishul akhirah. Ya Allah, there is no life except for the life of akhirat. Everything in this world, this is all a demo version. This is all a miniature version of what we are to get in akhirat. It's just like my kid, he says, oh Baba, this is my car. When he says this is my car, I know this is not a real car, but because he's a kid, he thinks, okay, this is a car. And he's so proud of it. And he likes it so much, and he carries it, and he plays with it as if it is really my car. So similarly, but Baba knows that this car is not real. When he grows up, he will know. Similarly, my respect brothers, Anbiya alayhi salatu salam, they came and they told us all the news of the real world. The real world is akhirat. And everything that Anbiya mentioned, it is real. And it will all come true. And we will all see it one day. So, it is they give an example that there was a big fish, and it was telling that little small fish that, hey, you know, this bait that you see, the little flower that you see in the sea, don't eat it, because behind this there is a hook, and this hook is held with a string. There's a long string, and there's a man who's sitting outside, and the moment you hook onto this, that guy is going to start to pull the string back very fast, and then you're going to be out of water. And then once you're out of water, then he has an ice box, and he will put you in that ice box, and he will take you home. And then there's a wife there that's waiting, and she will cut you up and dice you up. And then there's a whole family there, and they each have 32 teeth, and they will all eat you, and you will be vanished. So if this little fish says, hey, I don't know what she's talking about, man. I don't see any man, I don't see any family, I don't see any icebox, no dicing, I don't see the knife, nothing. So what is he talking about? I don't understand. And then she eats it, then everything that big fish told her, it is going to be true. It is going to turn out to be true. It's as simple as that. But if she doesn't, if she listens, she will be protected from all that. So similarly, my spectators, all of these talks that we have heard and all of these things that we hear about deen, that this is the benefit, this is the benefit, this is the benefit, my respect brothers, this is 100% true. And all of it will come alive. It will come alive in dunya, and it will also come alive in akhirat. Where does the problem stand? What do we have to do? We have to start believing in it. The more we believe in it, the more it will be easy for us to practice in it. So we said all of this to just make clear the point that deen is there for our benefit. Deen is there to make our lives, you see, to improve the worth of our life. That's why deen is there. To improve the worth of our life. Because, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, using something below its capacity and below its potential is an oppression. And anytime you use something below its capacity, that's an oppression, that's a loss. Right? We see this in dunya. If I buy a, what do you say? Let's say I buy a big, one of those tractors, or the ones that have the big shovels in the front. So those machines, if I buy it and I say, and a friend of mine asked me, hey, why have you bought this? And I say, because the garbage in the recycling bin guy comes every week out, and I need to move these bins to the front of my house. So what are people going to say? Is it a great thing that I did? No, I used something below its capacity. So my respect, brothers, everything that has to do with this world, and you see benefiting from the things of this world, this is something very, very less compared to the responsibility and the job that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the job of teaching people this deen, of making their ta'aleem, of making their tazkiyah, and of introducing them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these talks we heard about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this great job to do so that people can benefit from these great treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can anyone, for example, somebody who read Yasin in the morning, he has the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with him all day. Can anyone else who doesn't have Iman, can he get that help? Somebody who reads the Sharaq in the morning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help is with him all day. Allah takes care of his affairs. Can anyone else, is there any other power in the world that can make that happen? No. If wherever this person goes, this person will be someone who has the help of Allah. If he works in a company, with this he will be, taking the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with him. Maybe the company's job will get done because of his barakat, right? Because Allah's help is with him. So my respect, brothers, this is the job that Allah has given us. This job of guiding people from makhluk towards khaliq, from creation towards creator, from wealth towards amal, from dunya towards akhirat. This is the job that Allah has given us. And if we degrade ourselves, degrade meaning if we use ourselves for something that is much lower than this, that is much, much lower than this, that is we just say that no, our job is to, learn how to fix a car, or my job is to, learn how to work on semiconductor chips, then this is, using ourselves, using our life, using these two bounties Allah has given us, the health and the time, basically wasting them. In simple words, not using them. We didn't learn how to use them. So this effort, my respect brothers, this effort of deen, and deen itself has come to teach us how to make the best use out of these two things. But where does it come down to? We know all this and we understand all this, but we need an effort to make us practice all this. And that effort is an effort which which increases our belief in these two things. So deen, we have mashallah heard that deen, it is the best thing for us in our dunya, and it is best for us in our akhirat. The life of akhirat there is nothing that will work over there except for this deen, right? That is a life where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept us, has promised to give us bounties that no eyes have seen, no ears have heard, no hearts have thought about. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us, the rivers of wine and honey and water and milk, and the fountain of Kauthar will be, the distance will be, the width of it is the distance between Adan and Amman, and the length is as much as the width, and it has bowls that are equal to as numerous as the stars in the sky, and its water glitters like silver, and it is cold like ice, and it is sweeter than honey, and it smells like musk. So all of these bounties, my respect brothers, they cannot be gotten except through deen. Now, my respect brothers, this treasure of deen, what is our job? Our job is to make the whole world follow it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us with this responsibility, to bring the whole world onto this benefit. So Mu'min is a source of khair for the whole world. And our job is to bring the whole world onto it. And how can we do that? One thing is to just say it as a statement that we are hearing, and we don't think there is any practical sense of it, and we say that, hey, it's a great dream, but it cannot happen.